Greatest number of fitment options. Now again, everything really goes back to number one, like I said. We didn't grab these injectors and grind on them and scribble some numbers on them and give them to you and say this is what you've got. We're able to design things from scratch to make your life easy and to make our life easy as well. And so when we designed all these injectors, we built them in what's called the compact body, which is the smallest of the three standard injector bodies. And the reason for that is that it fits the greatest number of vehicles. So if you look at the General Motors LSA, LS3 engines, they have the very short injectors. And I'll grab one right here. Imagine that, there's a few injectors kicking around here. So this is the compact body injector. Again, it's what's used in the LS3 and LSA GM engines and numerous motorcycles, and as engine compartments become more cramped over time, the injectors get smaller and smaller. And so in building all of the X-Series injectors into the small body, we can fit it into the greatest number of applications. And the problem previously is that you may have a specific flow rate that you need for your application, but the injector wouldn't physically fit in the vehicle. And so I have a few other pieces here. Hey, look, more injectors, how strange. So again, here's the compact body. Let me get a little closer. There's the compact body. There's the, I think we call that a standard body. There's the really damn long body, right? And then there's this thing, which is floating around out there with a little pecker to hang in the airstream. Give that to your head, guys. See what he thinks about that. Put this back. So back to this. All the X-Series injectors are built in this body, so it fits just about anything. And we also chose this connector, which is what's called the US car connector. That's the most common connector, and so that's why we chose it over the slightly older, can you see that? The slightly older and dated, what we call the EV1 style connector. And then this is the US car connector. Sorry for putting my face in the camera. That's probably not cool, is it? All right, so anyway, now obviously when the injector is this small, how do you fit it into other applications? You probably all know that we build various adapters to extend the length of the injector, and not surprisingly, there's some right here. Imagine that, right behind the camera. Here's just one example. This is something I think we'd use in a Subaru application, or at least a Japanese application, with an 11 millimeter bore on the fuel rail. And there's a number of different pieces that we make to adapt the top and the bottom of the injectors to get the length that we want, sometimes to move the connector up out of the way. And we even, if I can find one, sorry, I'm working on it here in my professional film studio that also doubles as an injector production facility. So we even designed our own clips. Now I'm going to hold the clip up close, and you can't really see that because you're focused on my ugly face, but that's okay. So the point is that we designed a new clip specifically to meet our goals as we're trying to build various adapters, because, I mean, there aren't injector adapters that just exist. You have to build them from scratch or copy someone else's. That's never happened, right? So a few years back, we started from scratch and redesigned all of these. And I think it's worth noting that in addition to redesigning all of them, we build them here in-house, a couple buildings down at our machine shop. That gives us the ability to have complete control over the quality, to build them the way that we want, to make changes should we find that any changes are required. If we find a new adapter piece that needs to be made, we can do that. We have made improvements to some changes over the time, much like we did with the 1300X injector coming out with the X2, which is an improved piece. And I think that's it for number 6. Most fitment options, plain and simple. Not sure where else to go with that one. So now I get on to number 1, 2, yep, 7 is next.